The all-new BMW X2 is an exemption for the standard that 2 is multiple. In light of a similar stage as the boxier X1, the subcompact X2 is the somewhat less viable, but sportier-looking variant of BMW's littlest SUV. The second-age X2 wears an angrier grin and has as many exhaust tips as it does cylinders. Both the 241-horsepower xDrive 28i and M35i xDrive utilize a turbocharged inline four-chamber with a double-grass program transmission and all-wheel drive, yet the M adds muscle with 312 torque, greater brakes, and a higher maximum velocity. It likewise accompanies numerous M-controlled blue, purple, and red decorations that normally go with BMW's motorsport-filled sub-brand. The two-pole, 5-Traveler X2 is supposed to go at a bargain at some point in WAC 2024. The X2 starts its second era this year, filling in size while taking on a sleeker car-like shape. The X2 presently accompanies all-wheel drive as standard gear and a lifted torque from the X2's re-examined power plant, which gives it more disposition than previously. The X2 will show up in showrooms in WAC 2024. The cost of the 2024 BMW X2 begins at $42,995 and goes up to $52,395 relying upon the trim and options. The xDrive 28i accompanies a lot of standard highlights, for example, 19-inch wheels, a Goliath infotainment show, drove headlights, and dynamic vulnerable side recognition. While the base model doesn't have as much strength as the more out-of-control M35i xDrive, its more modest haggle's forceful motor tune will probably make it a more decent animal. AM Game Gear Bundle is accessible on the xDrive 28i, which adds M wheels, paddle shifters, a versatile M suspension, and better brakes. However, we expect the upgrades of this new Gen X2 to sparkle the most splendid on the more reasonable base variant. The new X2 is fueled by a modified form of the past model's turbocharged 2.0-liter inline-4 motor darted to a 7-speed double-grass program transmission. While the xDrive 28i gets a knock in yield over the past-age X2, presently crunching out a good 241 pull and 295 pound-feet of force, the M35i xDrive is significantly more grounded. With overhauled internals to climate the expansion and execution, the M35i xDrive produces 312 pull. BMW claims the M-controlled X2 is really great for a send-off to 60 miles per hour in 5.2 seconds, yet we anticipate that it should show improvement over that. Taking into account the 302-horsepower 2019 X2 M35i we had tried recently dealt with similar accomplishment in 4.5 seconds. The two forms of the X2 come norm with the entire season tires, yet the M35i xDrive gets bigger 20-inch wheels. Both X2 models roll alongside somewhat more extensive tires than the active model, adding to the new X2's more forceful look. Maximum velocity is restricted to 130 miles per hour for the two models while furnished with the entire season elastic. Yet moving up to execution summer elastic gives the M35i xDrive a 6 miles per hour advantage into the risk zone with a maximum velocity of 155 miles per hour. The xDrive 28i finishes out at 149 miles per hour. We'll refresh this space with execution results whenever we've tried either X2. Within the new X2 seems as though it was cut from something else altogether of material than the active model. The old model's piano dark plastic and compasses and matte dark plastic buttons have all been junk canned and supplanted by a great computerized show screen. Travelers get more space in the X2 than they did previously. BMW claims the bigger elements of the X2 have fashioned extra shoulder and breathing room, as well as a full inch of extra knee room for secondary lounge travelers. The back seats can be collapsed in a 40-20-40 split and can oblige up to 51 cubic feet of freight space while collapsed. Remote beginning and warmed front seats in it are both discretionary to guide wheel. Each X2 accompanies BMW's enormous bended instrument board show. The 10.25-inch piece of the presentation is the check bunch, showing speed and other driving data, while a 10.7-inch sister screen represents infotainment controls. The framework has a plenty of configurability, ostensibly an excessive number of than needed. However, this gives each X2 remote Apple CarPlay and Android Auto capacity. A remote cell phone charger is standard on the M35i xDrive and accessible with the discretionary comfort hardware bundle for the xDrive 28i. A strong Harman Kardon sound framework is accessible as a component of the exceptional hardware bundle, adding more bang during the X2's trunk should your playlist require it. An essential arrangement of driver help highlights, including computerized crisis slowing down, comes standard, and BMW offers extra tech for a price. Key well-being highlights include standard mechanized crisis slowing down with person-on-foot recognition, standard path takeoff cautioning, accessible versatile voyage control,